So we are diving back into top ways to maintain board momentum from a distance. We've talked a little bit about connecting with your board and engaging your board. Now we're going to jump into mobilizing your board. Mobilizing your board is important because even if you have talked to them and they know what they need to do, unless they take action, you're really not accomplishing the goals. So you hear all the time, delegate, delegate, delegate. And I hear that, every day when I'm working with executive directors. It's so difficult to delegate to my board because they're my boss, and if they don't follow through, what do I do? So making sure that you have top 10 ways that your board can engage is really, really important. If you're an executive director, staff member, I encourage you to include this in your regular staff reports, and they need to be timely, and they need to be something as simple as bringing in a donated item that can happen at a board meeting and having a box at the beginning of the board meeting where people can put in their canned food item or their, pet care product, or, toiletries if you do homeless shelter services, whatever the item of the month is. Maybe it's cleaning supplies for your program sites, whatever that is. Something as simple as bringing in one item to the board meeting is really helpful, all the way up to volunteering an hour a week or taking things home to do as a volunteer. But what is it that they can do? Not all board members can come and connect with donors or provide program support because of logistics, timeliness, availability. So having a list of things that allow them to either give something, show up at your site and do something, because a lot of people, that's what they crave. They want that meaningful interaction, or something that they can take home and do with them and still feel like they're supporting. I know with one cat shelter we work with, some of the volunteers would take home the linens and wash those, and it was their way of caring for the cats because they couldn't be there in person due to other barriers. So what are the things that your board members can do? And once again, put it on that accountability worksheet. We talked about what is the task, who's agreeing to do it, what's the time frame, and who's going to check in and keep them accountable. And it should be another board member, whether it's a chair of your board or whether it's an event planning person. Whoever that person is that is designated should do that, so that staff is not trying to hold the board accountable, but the board is holding itself accountable. You want to make sure that the board is clear on those key messaging. If you're going to mobilize board members, they need to know what's happening immediately, what's happening in the short term, and what's happening in the long term, so their messaging is clear. If you are not quite opening your doors yet because of your state is still in a beginning stage of reopening from the coronavirus, they need to be able to say, this is where we are, this is what's coming down the pike. So making sure that message is clear, once again, short, sweet talking points, and getting the board out saying, can you share this on your Facebook page? Can you share this, with a newsletter? We're going to send our e-blast out this week. Will you share it with your contacts? Will you share 10 names of people that might want to be added to our contact list? Whatever that is, maybe you have a subscribe button on your newsletters and your board members get them and they just look at them. Ask your board members to take your newsletter and share it with a friend and say, would you do me the favor of helping me grow our mailing list and learning more about our organization? Would you subscribe? Then they're added into your email list. So clarify the message and let the board members help you take that and get that out in the community. That distribution we've already talked a little bit about, but I'm going to it's always helpful to review that. Email, e-blast, newsletter, appeal letters, postcards, phone calls. Board members can be so helpful in all of these ways. Community flyers, taking it out. When you have those messages short term, like the immediate, short term, and long term, you want to also say, okay, what is the message? Is it in the immediate, short term, or long term category? And what is the medium that we're going to use to share it? Do you have someone who's great at writing press releases? Do you have someone that's always around town and can hang up some flyers? Get the board member engaged in distributing the message. The more they do it, the more comfortable they're going to get being ambassadors for the organization. It's when they only have to go out and be an ambassador when they're fundraising that it gets really, really sticky. I don't want to be a board member and every time my friends see me, I'm asking for money. But if I am an ambassador on all the messages like, hey, we just got 10 dogs fostered this month, or we, help us celebrate, we just got forever homes for 3 of our cats. If I can share messages that are celebratory or engagement versus just all asks, it's going to make me feel more comfortable in my role as an ambassador. So I know your board members will appreciate that as well. Once you have distributed the message, you've started to see those achievements happen and you've reached those goals, it's time to celebrate and ask, what next? How are you celebrating? Are you doing a happy dance on YouTube and sharing it with your group? Are you sharing it on social media? Are you going to post pictures? Are you going to make a press release? How are you going to celebrate? We want to celebrate as a board because remember, people disconnect because of lack of meaningful work. So when you set a goal, and then you achieve that goal, it is super important to celebrate that goal with your board. So if these were helpful for you, I encourage you to check out Board Solutions under Funding for Good's Facebook page or on our website. You can check out our website right down there, fundingforgood.org. We have all kinds of free resources for you, like these videos. We also have blogs. Just use the search bar on the Funding for Good webpage and search till your heart's content. If you need to schedule a call, feel free to reach out to do that. And as always, continue to engage your board, make it meaningful, make it matter, and reach out if we can help you in any way.